Hello, we're looking at Keys to Learning, Chapter 17, Grammar 1, which is on page 190. 190. Have your notebook ready to take notes. Grammar 1. Statements with should. You have affirmative statements and negative statements. And again, affirmative statements are yes, and negative statements are no. Affirmative, negative. So let's practice saying this. You need to take notes on this box, and you also need to practice saying the sentences with me. Affirmative statements. I should sit down. I should sit down. You should sit down. You should sit down. He should sit down. He should sit down. She should sit down. She should sit down. We should sit down. We should sit down. You should sit down. You should sit down. They should sit down. They should sit down. Should is strong advice. It means do it. So you should when you're saying something strongly. So negative statements, should not. We take should not and we say shouldn't. Shouldn't is the contraction. So let's practice shouldn't instead of should not. Okay, let's practice saying it together. I shouldn't sit down. I shouldn't sit down. You shouldn't sit down. You shouldn't sit down. He shouldn't sit down. He shouldn't sit down. She shouldn't sit down. She shouldn't sit down. We shouldn't sit down. We shouldn't sit down. You shouldn't sit down. You shouldn't sit down. They shouldn't sit down. They shouldn't sit down. Make sure you've copied this. Write affirmative or negative statements about Maria in your notebook. Use should or shouldn't. Number 1, get a lot of rest. What does rest mean? Sleep. Maria should or shouldn't? Okay. Maria should get a lot of rest. Again, Maria should get a lot of rest. Walk home. Should Maria walk home? Let's say she shouldn't walk home because it's too far. It's too dangerous. Maria shouldn't walk home. Maria shouldn't walk home. Stay in bed. No, she shouldn't stay in bed. Maria shouldn't stay in bed. Maria shouldn't stay in bed. Write this in your notebook. Okay, should Maria go swimming? Yes, that would be fun and good exercise. Maria should go swimming. Maria should go swimming. Should Maria drink plenty of water? Yes, Maria should drink plenty of water. Don't forget your capital letter and don't forget your period at the end. When you're ready, yes, no questions with should. Practice saying these with me. Should I see Miss Cho too? Shouldn't I see Miss Cho too? Should you see Miss Cho too? Shouldn't you see Miss Cho too? Shouldn't he see Miss Cho too? Shouldn't she see Miss Cho too? Shouldn't we see Miss Cho too? Shouldn't you see Miss Cho too? Shouldn't they see Miss Cho too? Okay, so that's the question. Now we have a yes answer or a no answer. Should I see Miss Cho too? Yes. What do we say to I? Yes, you should. Should you see Miss Cho too? You. What's the answer to you? I. No, I shouldn't. Let's do that again. Should you see Miss Cho too? No, I shouldn't. Shouldn't they see Miss Cho too? Yes, they should. Shouldn't they see Miss Cho too? No, they shouldn't. Okay, copy this down. Practice. Imagine you are at the nurse's office. Write yes or no questions in your notebook. Use should for general advice. Use shouldn't when you want the nurse to say yes. Take medicine. Should I take medicine? Should I take medicine? Should I go home? Should I go home? Shouldn't I call a doctor? So we're going to use shouldn't when you think the nurse is going to say yes. You want her to say yes. Shouldn't I call a doctor? Yes, you should call a doctor. Okay. Should I go to school tomorrow? No, you shouldn't go to school tomorrow. You're sick. Should I go to school tomorrow? Should I drink plenty of soda? No, you shouldn't drink plenty of soda. Okay? You do not need to do this. And let's look at grammar 2. Statements with could. So we had should, and now we have could. Okay, so could. Use could to make suggestions. Could is weaker than should. I could do it, maybe. Should is you should do it. Do it. Do it now. It's weaker. Okay, so let's practice saying this together. I could come to school tomorrow. I could come to school tomorrow. You could come to school tomorrow. You could come to school tomorrow. He could come to school tomorrow. He could come to school tomorrow. She could come to school tomorrow. She could come to school tomorrow. We could come to school tomorrow. We could come to school tomorrow. You could come to school tomorrow. You could come to school tomorrow. They could come to school tomorrow. They could come to school tomorrow. We use could to make suggestions. Could is weaker than should. So make sure you make notes for this chart in your notebook. Next, match the problems in items 1 through 5 with the suggestions in the box. Write sentences, so that's the first part, match. The second part, so 1, second part, write sentences with could in your notebook. So let's look at it. I'm worried about the test. You could study more. Again, I'm worried about the test. You could study more. I'm thirsty. You could drink some soda. You could drink some soda. I'm thirsty. You could drink some soda. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. You could rest a while. I'm tired. You could rest a while. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. You could make a sandwich. You could make a sandwich. Oh, I skipped one. What did I skip? Number 4. I'm bored. I'm bored. You could go to the movies. I'm bored. You could go to the movies. Okay, the conversation. When you're ready. I'm bored. We could go to a movie. A movie? Yeah. I'm bored, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty. We can practice those in partners, so you don't have to do this now. Keys to Learning, Chapter 17, Grammar 3, page 193. 193. Because clauses. Use because clauses to give reasons. Use pronouns in the because clause. Maria should go home. She is sick. Who is she? Maria. She is a pronoun that replaces Maria. Maria should go home because she is sick. Maria should go home because she is sick. Take notes. Make one sentence each from the pairs of sentences below. So a pair is 2. You're going to make one sentence from 2. Write the sentences in your notebook. Vic likes video games. He thinks video games are exciting. Vic likes video games because he thinks they're exciting. They is the pronoun replacing video games. Video games. They. Vic likes video games because he thinks they're exciting. Number 2, Sophie hates soccer. No, Sophie, Sophie hates soccer. She thinks soccer is boring. So why does she hate soccer? She thinks it's boring. So let's put it together. We're going to say because she thinks soccer, it. Sophie hates soccer because she thinks it is boring. That'll be a little s. Sophie hates soccer because she thinks it is boring. Number 3. And pause the video when you need to. Liliana likes love stories. She likes love stories. She thinks love stories are interesting. Why does she like love stories? Because they're interesting. So add because, little s. Let's change love stories. Is it or they? Plural, so we say they. Liliana likes love stories because she thinks they are interesting. And instead of they are, we can write their. Their. Okay, with the apostrophe. Carlos doesn't like math. He thinks math is hard. Why doesn't he like math? Because he thinks it is hard. Okay? It, because, little h. Carlos doesn't like math because he thinks it is hard. And instead of it is, the contraction is it's. Carlos doesn't like math because he thinks it's hard. When you're ready, the next part. In your notebook, write sentences that give your own opinion. What do you think about these subjects and the reasons for your opinion? Use love, like, enjoy, don't like, or hate. Example, I like roller coasters because I think they're fun. Okay, remember the contraction and the pronoun. Do you like roller coasters? Do you like dancing? Do you like love stories? Do you like video games? Do you like math? Do you like watching TV? This is going in your notebook. 6 sentences with your opinion.